Hi guys, welcome to Kimble Storytales. Enjoy educative stories and captivating content. Your support means the world to us. Do well to subscribe, like, comment and share. In the dusty heart of a quiet Nigerian village, a poor widow gave everything she had to a desperate boy she barely knew. 20 years later, at death's door and with nowhere to turn, she found herself face to face with a man who would change her life forever, the boy she once saved. But time had changed them both, and secrets neither of them could imagine were about to be revealed. The village of Umidike in Abia State was quietly under the weight of the midday sun. The dusty red roads, the laughter of children chasing tires with sticks, the wafting aroma of akra frying at the roadside, all were ordinary in the eyes of the world. But on one fateful afternoon, something extraordinary began in the most unassuming of places. Mama Ifeoma was a widow of 17 years. Gray-haired, with sun-wrinkled skin and a soft voice, she was the embodiment of kindness and resilience. She had buried a husband too young and raised her only daughter, Adis, with the strength only grief can teach. Life had not been kind, but she wore her pain like a wrapper, tight, strong, and never dragging. But her world was about to collide with a boy named Ebuka, a frail, hungry orphan from the streets of Abia, running from a past he could not forget and into a future he could never have imagined. The first time Mama Ifeoma saw Ebuka, he was collapsed on the old wooden bridge near the stream, barely breathing. His clothes were torn, his feet blistered, and his eyes spoke of things no child should ever see. She should have walked past. She had nothing to give, only a basket of tomatoes and barely 50 naira in her wrapper. But something, maybe God, maybe the ghost of her husband, stopped her. She knelt beside him. "NWAM, are you okay?" He didn't answer. His lips were cracked, his chest barely rising. Without thinking, she dropped her basket, cradled his head in her lap, and whispered softly, "You'll be okay. I'll help you." Somehow. That night, she spent the last of her money buying gari, water, and paracetamol. She cleaned his wounds with warm water and salt, fed him with shaking hands, and prayed like she hadn't prayed in years. For the next 6 months, she raised Ebuka like a son. And then one morning, just before dawn, he was gone. No note. No goodbye. Only a quiet thank you carved into the wooden bench he used to sit on. The years passed like harmattan wind, dry, slow, and full of hardship. Adis, Mama Ifeoma's daughter, moved to Lagos after gaining admission into Unilag. Mama Ifeoma, now well into her 60s, grew weaker with each year. Her health began to fail, high blood pressure, failing eyesight, and the pain in her legs that never let her sleep. But she was proud. Too proud to beg, too proud to ask Adis, now a struggling tailor with 2 children, for help. In 2023, everything fell apart. She collapsed in her small kitchen and was rushed to the general hospital. The diagnosis was clear: she needed urgent surgery. The cost? N1.8 million. She had N12,000 in her bank account. Doctors shook their heads. Nurses looked away. And in the long corridor of the hospital, Mama Ifeoma sat with her wrapper clutched tightly around her eyes vacant, her soul tired. She whispered to God, "Is this how my story ends?" It was a Friday. Rain was falling in slow, heavy drops. The doctor entered with a man in a well-tailored suit, clean-shaven, eyes dark with intensity. "Madam," the doctor said, "this man wants to speak with you." She looked up, blinking. The man knelt beside her. "You don't remember me," he said, voice trembling. "But I remember you." She frowned. His voice, his eyes. And then he said, "You found me on the bridge. You gave me everything. I was dying, and you brought me back." Mama Ifeoma gasped. "Ebuka." He nodded. He was now Dr. Ebuka Okonkwo, renowned neurosurgeon, founder of a medical NGO, and the youngest board member of a hospital network across West Africa. "I searched for you for years," he said, his voice breaking. I never forgot. I owe you everything. And now, I'm going to save your life. Ebuka paid for her surgery, her post-op care, a private room, and even brought her to Lagos for specialized treatment. But he didn't stop there. He built her a new house in Umidike, solar-powered, with running water and a tiled kitchen she could only dream of. He placed Adi's children on full scholarships and opened a shop for Adis in Suralere. The village buzzed. Mama Ifeoma became a legend. Not because she was saved, but because she once gave everything she had, and it came back to her pressed down, shaken together, and running over.